Our speaker this afternoon is Bob Summers, also known as the likability guy on the internet. Along with being the host of the recognized expert marketing show on Maui, he's the president of the Internet Marketing Association of Hawaii. Before moving to Maui with his family in 1996, Bob owned and operated the largest customer service training company in America, Summers Communication. His company wrote and provided over 1,500 customer service training programs a year in virtually every community in the country. Today, Bob is going to talk to us about likability and the role it plays in our health, wealth, and happiness. Please help me welcome Bob Summers.
Yay, thank you, Ron. Thank you. And thank you very much. As I was talking to Ron, my thought was I was going to come here and speak on likability, but then I had a chance to meet a bunch of you all earlier today, and I realized you're already likable. My job is done. Thank you very much. Today, what I would like to talk to you about is likability and the role it plays in your health, wealth, and happiness. The role it plays in your business success. And likability is something I've been fascinated with for a long, long time. I actually have my own personal likability mentor. Now, for those of you that are entrepreneurs out here, I know you have mentors that you look up to. Mine just happens to be a guy that turned out to be one of the greatest bank robbers of all time. And his name was Willie Sutton. Do you recognize that name? In the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, Willie Sutton robbed over 100 banks of more than $1 million. Well, when the police finally caught him, they said, Willie, look, you're not getting out of jail. That's it. You know, $1 million, 100 banks. Come on, you're not getting out of jail. Tell us your secret. How did you manage to rob 100 banks before you got caught? Well, the truth of the matter was what was happening as Willie was robbing these banks, the tellers, for some reason, decided to let Willie get about a 10-minute head start because he was so darn charming before they decided to call the police. Well, eventually, when they caught him, they said, okay, Willie, tell us your secret. What's the deal here? And Willie said, okay, I'm going to tell you what my secret is. He said, when I was a little boy, maybe 8 or 9 years old, he said, I learned from my daddy, who was really good at this. My daddy told me that you can get virtually anything you want from virtually anybody you want if you just carry a smile and a gun in lieu of just a gun. So there was something too that I thought, this Willie Sutton he knows a little something here. So over the years, I've been fascinated with this likability stuff, and that's what I want to share with you. Now, there are some major misperceptions about likability out there, and I'm going to ask you all to reframe maybe some of these negative perceptions you have of likability. Now, my wife is the queen of reframing. She looks at something, an event that happens, and she can completely turn it around and look at it in a completely different way. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, we had some termite damage out in our garage. So I pulled off the piece of wood and set it down, and I went back to get the new piece of wood. And as I was going to hammer it back up, I stepped on a nail, and it went all the way through my foot. Oh. And yes, it was as bad as you think it was. So I fell to the ground, and I'm rolling around, moaning and groaning, hoping my wife will hear me so that I could get a little sympathy. Well, I stopped for a minute. I didn't hear anything. So I moaned a little louder. I groaned a little louder. Finally, she came down and she said, honey, what's the matter? What's wrong? I said, I stepped on a nail and it went all the way through my foot. And with about this much compassion, she said, do you think that might be God's way of telling you you need to wear shoes the next time you do this? And I think about that all the time. I need to reframe my thinking. We all need to reframe our thinking about a lot of things. Well, let me take you through some of what I believe are the major misconceptions we have about this thing on likability. The first one is this. A lot of people believe that likable people are born either likable or unlikable. That is simply not true. I can assure you there has never been a father that has looked through the window of a nursery talking to another parent and said, oh, you see that mean, obnoxious, unlikable child in the corner? That's my boy. No. I mean, maybe during his first parent-teacher conference he may say that, but not in the nursery. It just doesn't happen. I believe that people are unlikable or neutral. And when I say unlikable, I don't mean they're mean or obnoxious. I just mean they just haven't done what they need to do to be seen as likable. And I believe it's based on one of two things, either ignorance or apathy. I think that's why this doesn't happen. I remember being in Boston, and I I guess